This is Lisa from Mobile Tech Review, and this is the Samsung Intercept that's available now on Sprint. This is their latest Android QWERTY phone, and it runs Android OS 2.1. It's pretty much vanilla Android. It doesn't have a lot of customizations like TouchWiz or anything like that on the phone. For you Android purists, that's a good thing. Take a look at the front first. These are touch-sensitive buttons here that work quite well. This is an optical D-pad. Your call, send, and end buttons that doubles as the power button. And guys, don't freak out. This is also available in a manly gray as well as pink. Got the speaker grill over here, the 3.2 megapixel autofocus camera. Here we've got headphone jack. It's a camera launcher button. We always appreciate that, so you don't have to fiddle with the home screen to launch your camera. This is the micro USB port here under the door. Volume controls. And your micro SD card slot. A 2 gig card is included with the phone. This is not a high-end phone. It sells for $99.99 after rebates with a contract. And the build quality it's plasticky. Reminds us a bit of a higher-end feature texting phone, but it's got its good points too. Here you have a very large keyboard that is backlit. There is almost no travel on these keys, but you do have plenty of space to move around, so if you have large hands, that's nice. Very flat. Of course, that allows for an even thinner slotting mechanism, so the phone doesn't get too chunky. One odd design consideration here is the display. It's 3 inches across diagonally. It's a standard multi-touch LCD, but the resolution is unusual. It's 240 by 400 pixels, which we've seen on some feature phones before, but Android, pretty much the baseline resolution is 320 by 480. Since the T-Mobile G1 way back when, most phones have had that resolution or something higher. So you've got fewer pixels when you've got 240, so that means that some applications won't be compatible with the phone if they're expecting at least 320 by 480 resolution. However, everything that's built in obviously works just fine. The standard Google apps mostly work. You might see an occasional dialog box that's cut off when the phone is in landscape mode because it expects more than 240 pixels to work with, but you can just put the phone back into portrait mode to see the entire dialog. One sort of high-end spec that we've got here is the CPU. It's an 800 megahertz Samsung custom CPU. It's the S3C6410 for those of you who are geeky and into that kind of thing. It has 256 megs of RAM to run applications and 512 megs of storage. And of course it has the usual trio of wireless Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, 802.11bg, not N, and a GPS that works with the included Google Maps, which includes spoken navigation now. It's unusual to not see Sprint navigation on a phone, but Google Maps does do a reasonably good job of giving you turn-by-turn directions. Of course, you've got your usual Gmail here, the Amazon MP3 store, the WebKit-based web browser, the YouTube player, Google Talk, email clients for Gmail and regular email, which include Exchange email support, and Google Voice stuff, voice dialer, voice search. And we've got Think Free Office here to view, but not create MS Office documents. Let's take a look at the web browser so you can see what the aspect ratio does. Again, it's obviously wider than it is tall. The web browser supports pinch zooming. And we're doing this over Sprint's 3G EVDO Rev 0 network. This does not have EVDO Rev A. And we'll load our website so you can see what a full HTML site looks like. The B key is to the right of the space bar. A little strange. And we have a pretty good Sprint signal, so this should be reasonably quick, though again this is just Rev 0 for data. And it's almost done, but you can start scrolling around now. Despite the oddball resolution, it is nice for web pages because you've got a lot of pixels across. Obviously, it can't compete with something like The Evo, with its mammoth resolution and giant display, of course the Evo does cost you twice as much money and an additional $10 a month for data. So if you're on a budget, it might not be the phone for you. Alright, now we'll take a look at the YouTube player and then we'll look at Sprint TV. It's interesting to note that the web browser does support multi-touch pinch zooming, but for some reason the gallery application does not. The gallery is used for viewing photos, among other things. And we will just pick something off of the front page. Oh, Hannah Montana. This is EVDO, and this is in the default low quality. We'll switch to high quality and see how that goes. Little bulky. Okay then, it looks like low quality is a better option with the YouTube player given limitations of EVDO Rev 0. Now I'll take a look at Sprint TV. I have a handy widget on the desktop for that. Choose something featured, we'll be geeky and go for sci-fi. And watch Warehouse 13. The application is a little slow initially until it gets everything downloaded. So we've got some digital breakup, and let's take a look at our signal one more time to see how we're doing with that. And it's got a pretty good signal. You can take a look at all those bars up there of EV. So, not too sure about that, but could have something to do with the weather. So you might have noticed the speaker is quite loud and very clear on this. This has quite a speakerphone, and it's very loud for spoken navigation in Google Maps. I'm Lisa from Mobile Tech Review, and this is the Samsung Intercept, available on Sprint now for $99 with a contract. Visit our website to read the full review.